Welcome to Week 5 of Friday Night Lights. I'm Wyndell Campbell, your good neighbor State Farm agent in Oskaloosa. You're watching the State Farm Football Update on Oski News.
For all your insurance and financial service needs, call your State Farm agent Wyndell Campbell in Oskaloosa today.
And we're back to take a look at Week 5. Week 5 saw Oskaloosa go on the road. Big challenge so far in their season. Coming Week 1, probably with Pella being the biggest challenge so far, but they were on the road at Solon this week. And in Week 5, they dropped the district game to Solon as the Spartans, they upended the #1 team in Class 3A last week, beating the Demons from Washington. And the Solon Spartans seemed to not miss a beat as they were able to take it to the Oskaloosa Indians 34-3. Turnovers, the story in this game is the Spartans took a fumble and also an interception in the first couple drives of the game in for scores for the early advantage. One bright spot of the first half, the Indian offense was able to get freshman kicker Aaron Blom in line for a 44-yard field goal. That 44-yarder would have been a school record if not for a week ago he did not kick a 50-yard field goal. So Aaron Blom, the bright spot in that one. Night was to belong to the Spartans as they took a 28-3 lead into the locker room. The defense did come out in the second half and play very well, but not able to get enough points on the board as the Solon Spartans cruised to a 34-3 victory. Ethan Arnold led all rushers as he rushed 15 times for 67 yards. Blake Alsop added another 29 yards and Casey Hill 26 yards on the ground. Passing, Arnold was 9 for 24 for 62 yards and an interception. Tanner DeCock had 5 catches for 40 yards. Peyton Krause was the defensive leader, 14 tackles, 1 sack, and 2 tackles for a loss. The 3-2 Oskaloosa Indians are looking forward to come back home, get back in the win column as they'll be home for homecoming. They're going to be welcoming Fairfield. Fairfield coming off a district loss to the previous #1 team, Washington Demons. The Oskaloosa Indians sit at 2-1 in the district and now kind of in that middle pack as they're all going to be fighting for this the first year in the Iowa playoffs where only the top 2 teams from the district will be making it into the playoffs. In other action from Mahaska County on last Friday night, the New London Tigers came to North Mahaska as well in Week 3 of district action there. It was homecoming night for the Warhawks. Saw a great turnout, a good group of red on the home side of the field for North Mahaska, but a victory was not meant to be as the New London Tigers took the victory 28-0. Coming off a late touchdown victory against Montezuma just a week ago, the Warhawks were trying to bounce back from their heartbreaking 1-point loss at Pekin a week ago as well. North Mahaska had their opportunities as they were able to pin the Tigers deep on their first 2 offensive possessions, got the ball back on their 20, but unable to convert for points. They kept the game close as the Tigers went into halftime 14-0, but North Mahaska was unable to sustain any sort of momentum, and the Tigers took their 3rd district win so far in that Class A District 6. No solution for the Tigers. Keontae Luckett, got to mention this young kid out of New London Tigers. He was responsible for all 4 touchdown scores, and if it weren't for the big play, the New London Tigers played the North Mahaska Warhawks very, very even. Keontae Luckett had scoring runs of 65 yards, an 85-yard reception for a touchdown, a 76-yard punt for a touchdown, and an 84-yard kickoff return. That was to start the second half. So all Keontae Luckett and the New London Tigers there. Cole Spolstra led the Warhawks 116 yards rushing, and homecoming king Griffin Molenberg ended up with 57 yards rushing on the night. The North Mahaska Warhawks went to more of a wildcat look late in that game, was able to get a little momentum and move the ball. So that might be something with the Warhawks from here on out of this season. We see not only Ben Sherburne in the backfield running the offense, but also Griffin Molenberg taking those direct snaps and running the offense as well. Ben Sherburne was 5 for 20 passing for 65 yards on the night, and the Tigers proved to be a force in that Class A District 6. It sets up a really good matchup here in 2 weeks, October 7th. Mark that one on your calendars because we're going to have the New London Tigers will be hosting the Linville Sully Hawks, and I'm going to predict that one. The winner of that one's going to be the one leading for the district, as both those teams should be going into that game undefeated in District 6 action. North Mahaska is going to take the week off here next week as Danville, that was on the schedule, Danville's ended their season a little early due to injuries and some just low enrollment numbers for their football team, not able to field a team. Montezuma had their homecoming game scratched here this last week as they were scheduled to play the Danville team as well. So they'll be back in week number 7 as they'll welcome Montezuma to North Mahaska as I believe one of our final last 2 home games of the season. Montezuma Braves at North Mahaska in week 7. So I'll be taking the week off this week from the radio, but I'll be down in the studio for KIIC 96.7 out of Albia. We'll be breaking down all the scores during the Albia game, and then we'll be running it with the Locker Room Show. Me and Jay Mill and Jason and Dan till about 11:30, maybe midnight on Friday night. We'll have all the scores from the area, the Locker Room Show on KIIC 96.7. With that, we'll look at a few more scores from around the area. It was homecoming last week as Eddyville, Blakesburg, Fremont went down to Albia. Albia got their first win of the season, and only their second offensive touchdowns of the year as they won that one 32-6. Centerville, Big Red on the roads. They went to Sheraton Chargers, won that one 48-0. A little bit of unrest down in that Sheraton area with some other things going on in the news. Not a good homecoming for the Chargers. Clark Indians on the road beat the Davis County Mustangs 28-21. The Carlisle Wildcats 48, Knoxville Panthers 19. HLV Warriors in 8-man action beat the Moravia Mohawks 36-28. That one a very close game till late in that one as well. The Linmar Lions and the Ottumwa Bulldogs another loss on the season, 46-7. Ottumwa looking for their first win of the season in 2016. Pekin Panthers again in Class A District 6 action. The Pekin Panthers 53, the Cardinal Comets 7. The Pella Christian Eagles continue to roll in that Class 1A, 62, Mount Air Raiders 14. Another good team coming out of Pella Christian. Coach Kakmarinski and his son David quarterbacking that team. That's going to set up, in my opinion, probably one of the pinnacle games in the Iowa playoffs. Pella Christian against Iowa City Regina. Eventually, all those roads have to lead through Iowa City Regina. But Pella Christian playing really good football this year. The Pella Dutch on the road at Grinnell Tigers, they take it 49-0. The Twin Cedars Sabres, Coach Aaron Osbaugh, that team undefeated on the year, 36, Colonesco Royals 22. That Colonesco team, a playoff team from just a year ago. Wayne Falcons on the road, they get beat by the Bedford Bulldogs 46-6. Washington Demons, again, the Class 1 in 3A last week, defeated by Solon, but in that district, the Oskaloosa Indians will see that Washington Demon team and the Fairfield Trojans coming to us here this week for homecoming. Washington Demons take that one 24-7. Seymour Warriors and the Tri-County Trojans, this one was a barn burner as the Seymour Warriors took it 47-46. That 8-man football action, if you've not had an opportunity to see an 8-man football game, scoring generally happens early, it happens often, and this one just 1 point, so a missed field or a missed extra point. The difference in that one, Seymour taking it by 1 point. And Melcher Dallas Saints, Meskwaki Settlement Warriors, this is another barn burner. A total of 130 points scored in this one. Melcher Dallas Saints took it 82-48 as they're one of the top teams in that district as well. The last one for the area, the BGM Bears at home got beat by the Gladbrook Rhinebeck Rebels. Gladbrook Rhinebeck, the defending Class A state champions, as BGM got pushed to the different district with the redistricting of 2016. So that's a look. The one game you didn't hear in there, Montezuma not having a game for their homecoming again. The Danville team not fielding a team due to some injuries, so they had finished their season. So Montezuma with a week off, they'll be back in action here this week. We're going to take a break here real quick, and we'll have a take a look at what's getting ready to happen in Week 6 of Friday Night Lights. You're watching the State Farm Football Update on Oski News.
Well,
I love it.
I know, right? I saw it and I was just like, oh, I have to have it.
Is it suede?
Suede. Love suede.
State Farm knows that for every one of those moments, there's one of these.
Well, I love it. I know, right? I saw it and I was like, have to have it. Is it suede? It's suede. I love suede.
That's why we're there with renter's insurance when things go wrong, but also here with a rewards credit card to help life go right. State Farm.
Talk to State Farm agent Wyndell Campbell in Oskaloosa today.
And welcome back as we take a look at week number 6 of the Friday Night Lights around the area. Week number 6 is going to see the Oskaloosa Indians at home as they get really ready to celebrate homecoming. Lots of activities here in Oskaloosa for the week. They're going to welcome the Fairfield Trojans. The Fairfield Trojans coming off a loss last week to the Demons of Washington. So it looks to be a good game for Coach Jake Jenkins and the Oskaloosa Indians this week. North Mahaska up the road will have the week off as the Danville team not fielding a team for the remainder of the season. So a bye week in week number 6, and they will take over again next week in week number 7, welcoming Montezuma back to North Mahaska. Looking at some of the games from the rest of the area, Albia Blue Demons will be on the road at Clark. The Indians, Sheridan Chargers on the road at PCM, the Mustangs. PC and Prairie City Monroe playing some good football right now. Probably the one or two team in that district. I look forward to them playing additional football in the playoffs after the regular season's over. Central Lee Hawks will go on the road. Eddyville Blakesburg Fremont will be welcoming them just down the road. Knoxville Panthers on the road at the Pella Dutch. Pella again playing good football. Maybe not what we're used to seeing as they 2 state championships in a row in Class 3A, but still a challenge with the Knoxville Panthers on Friday night. 8-man action. Moravia Mohawks will be welcoming the Meskwaki Settlement Warriors in on Friday night. The Prairie Hawks will be at Ottumwa Bulldogs. Ottumwa still looking for their first victory of 2016. Linville Sully Hawks and the Pekin Panthers. That game at Pekin. A lot of teams fighting for that possible berth out of the districts, as the Linville Sully Hawks and the New London Tigers in that district probably going to be 1 and 2. There is going to be a couple at-large bids handed out. So Pekin Panthers look to try and keep that one close. And if for some reason if they can pull out the victory, that's going to create a little bit of turmoil within that Class A District 6. Schedule. The Woodward Eagles will be at Pella Christian. The Melcher Dallas Saints, they'll be on the road at Twin Cedars. The Sabres coming into this one undefeated, and what'll be a good match at Melcher Dallas scoring 82 points last week, but Twin Cedars coming in this one undefeated. Lamoni Demons on the road at the Wayne Falcons. The Montezuma Braves back in action this week after their off week will be on the road at Winfield Mountain Union. Colonesca Royals will be on the road at the Seymour Warriors. The BGM Bears will be on the road at the Hudson Pirates. Tri-County Trojans again on the road. A lot of these area teams traveling here this week as they will be playing at the HLV Warriors. And the last one for the area, Davis County Mustangs will be on the road just south of us down at the Centerville Big Reds. So that's what's going to happen here in week number 6 of Friday Night Lights. You can catch me, Cousin Ed, he gets the week off. You can catch me on the radio, 96.7 KIIC, the Locker Room Show on Friday night after the games, as North Mahaska has this week off. And we will come back next week and we will break down what happened in week 6 and look forward to week 7. You've been watching the State Farm Sports Update on Oski News. I'm Wyndell Campbell, your good neighbor agent from Oskaloosa, and we'll catch you here for week 7.